I have chosen to discuss with you a technique called structural equation modeling, where you can obtain data either completely quantitatively, or you can generate data from qualitative analysis and enter into this kind of modeling and do an analysis. So today we will try to understand what is structural equation modeling and the basic concepts behind structural equation modeling. When we were talking about qualitative research methods, we said we have to either use a theory to generate research questions, or we use findings and then use a theory to interpret what we have found. In scholarship, theory takes a central position because theory is, in scholarship, theory is where condensation of findings occur. It is like the clouds in the sky, and you can compare the rain with the findings. But we can understand, very easily understand rain because it has an observed impact and it causes various changes. But sometimes we find difficult to understand clouds. What is clouds that transform into water? Something like that. Because theory is at the mental level, and what we observe, what we find through our observations using our analytical techniques, ultimately gets condensed in theories. So theories take a central position in scholarship for that reason. So when it comes to quantitative analysis, quantitative research methods, batch 3 would recollect that we were testing theories using hypotheses. Generate hypothesis, come up with hypothesis or educated guesses to test the theory. We take the theory and test with the data or the facts that we have collected fits into the theory. And our primary exercise there is testing the theory using data or facts, evidence. So this data or the facts that we collect are denominated as variables. And it is these variables that we observe to collect our information. And then we do all sorts of things with those observations. We build relationships. We try to establish relationships. We try to compare things and so forth. So that is what typical statistical research methods do. But structural equation modeling differs from such analysis. It takes a different stands. So rather than testing whether the data fits into the theory, which other typical statistical modeling does, structural equation modeling tests whether theory fits into the data. So what it does is it tests the data using the theory. In typical modeling, typical statistical modeling, we test the theory using data. Here we test the facts or evidence using a theory. So in structural equation modeling, because the theory takes a center stage, it is built upon the concepts and conceptual relationships. So any modeling that you do is to understand concepts and conceptual relationships. So because of that, structural equation modeling has a special place. It's like the parent of all other modeling techniques.